So one of the other things that you might want to try, now that you've kind of gotten the hang of After Effects and you're playing around with it a little bit, would be to add some type or text into your imagery, right? So a lot of people do their like end credits, like the fancy animated type end credits in a program like After Effects. So again, then up here at the tools, you'll see we've used most of the tools up here so far, but we haven't really used the type tool yet. So if you click on that and you click on the button, it's going to give you a new kind of a layer. So instead of being like a shape layer or a video layer like we're used to, it will have you're going to have a type layer, a text layer, right? And so, now I've just typed some text in there, and it exists just like any other item would in your timeline. So the cool thing about it is you can go in here and go kind of crazy with transforming it, right? So if I wanted to, I could change like my position by dropping a keyframe and then, you know, moving the timeline down and moving it over there, and it'll zoom all the way off the screen, right? So now if I go back in time, like my text is just going to basically like zoom off the screen. So pretty simple kind of basic things you could do there. The other thing that you might want to be able to do is go in and just mess with each individual letter, right? So again, like you have like these options that are buried inside here that are things that you could go in and play around with. I'll let you kind of mess with that as much as you might want to. There's a lot of tutorials that'll teach you how to do specific things with text and with type. If you wanted to do the individual letters, you might want to, again, if you just highlight this and, you might want to go that way and then make a new layer and, make each one their own layer as you go along, and then you can animate each one individually. That's kind of old school way to do it, and it doesn't, there's nothing wrong with it. It can totally work. And of course, you can change your typefaces and all that stuff if you click and drag. You go back to this and sorry, you just have to go in there and like use the type tool and highlight it, just like you would in a word processing thing, and you got all your options for different kinds of typeface. Like you could change it to, you know, um, the ones that are in here that you have permissions to use, like so you can change it to that if you would like to. You can change the size also the same way, just by changing the this variable here. You can change the color by clicking there and changing the fill and the stroke. So all of those options are kind of available for you, and something that you might be able to make use of if you'd like to. So, but the thing that a lot of folks want to do is they want to animate whole lines of text, right? So it's a pretty terrible typeface. I can't live with that. We'll go to something like there you go. That's a little better. So so we'll do that, and then if you look at this, if you look at your thing, you look down here, there's this little option that says add animator, right? And there's a ton of options that you can use to kind of play around with on here. And so like there's just a million things that you can try. So if you go character offset with that animator, now you'll see it's in here and it's all like added in. And so I can go in here and like change the character offset by like keyframe it. So I can drop that there and then add this one, and it'll kind of like cycle through all these other kind of pieces of text, and it'll land on that one. Just there's a lot of preset options that you can goof around with there. I can delete these so I don't get confused. And then there are also items where you can you can really go crazy with the effects and presets and stuff like that are in here. So again, if I look through all of my options that are available to me, there's a whole bunch of ones here for text and that I can kind of play around with. There are also animation presets. So if I click on that and click in here, you'll see that there are text animation presets, and these are the ones that people will use for films and stuff like that. So let's go like center spiral. This is classic, right? So drop it on the text there, and then if I scroll back, you can see that it's just going to bring that type in, like it's going to make it swirl as it comes in, right? So these are all kind of canned, pre-made ones. If you want to adjust those variables, you can just zoom in and you'll see the three dots that are the dots over there that show you where these effects are happening, and you can like change where stuff kind of goes down if you want to. Have to kind of like twirl all the way in, but you can always change it so they happen sooner or later in your sequence. So that's the basics of type and text. There's a lot of options. Again, tons of great videos and tutorials out there that'll teach you how to do really cool specific things. But all of these are available kind of as presets that are pretty wild for just using type. So again, that's under animation presets. Also, these ones here will generate type and text for you if that's something you need.